Alright, what's going on, people? Welcome to the first ever live stream from the nightlife. It's going to be a little exciting, so just try and bear with me. It's going to be a little interesting, but we got an exciting one. It's going to be a little bit of a kind of relaxed weekend with, everything from the 4th of July and, sorry, let me explain the setup here because it's a little janky, so... Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to do, you can say hi to my girlfriend right there, my little tech support. But trying to get a setup going. I got the comments on my phone. I got my streaming setup. I'm going to be taking around to the different events that I, broadcast these fights from. So this is kind of just a dry run to see how it goes. So thank you for tuning in if you're in the early crew. Really do appreciate it. But with that said, let's go ahead and we're gonna do some fun shit here. First thing we got lined up, I'm really excited about. Sorry if I'm a little diverted at times, but this is a one-man show, so you're just gonna have to bear with me a little. This is gonna be kind of the usual setup for when I do my weekly edited content. The plan is I'm gonna be doing every Tuesday. Is going to be kind of a SportsCenter recap. I'll have some fancy graphics. Maybe even you'll see, like, right here, put some nice text there, But, yeah, we'll take that as it comes. But until then, we're going to be going through kind of what's going on this weekend. And like I said, it's the 4th of July weekend. No one wants to travel. And why should they? It's a great weekend. You just get drunk, grill some shit up. It's great. But let's go ahead as I grab my coffee here. It's always good to stay hydrated. Oh, that's good. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look now at the card for the live... Sorry, not the live stream. Oh, I'll get good at this one day. But this is going to be the night fights at the Knights Hall this weekend, July 5th, sorry. It's going to be the Knights Hall... I don't think this was his name. This is just July 6th night fights. Easy enough to remember. So let's go ahead and run it down. We got Anton Malakov versus Vincent Sabatino. Vince, I've seen fight a few times. I want to say he's still in his first year. But either way, he's a good fighter. Pretty well built. Anton, I don't know as well. But usually how they run things at the Knights Hall, you can see on the right-hand side it says fight class. Usually the Class C fights are 1 minute. Kind of, I don't want to say the entry level, but is, they're the 60-second rounds, 3 rounds, and kind of, on the more mild side for the fight. So if it's a Class B fight, then, these two can trade blows pretty well. With Weapon and Buckler, I'm assuming one's going to have falchion and one's going to have maybe a hand axe. Not too sure. Otherwise, it would just be falchion and Buckler, like we see with Chuck, the Battle of the Chucks. I can't wait for that one. That's going to be fucking great. But this is going to be good. From what I can remember, I think Anton is a big HMB guy, and I have a clear bias that I used to be ACL, but now that kind of fizzled out. As we'll cover that a little bit later on. But sorry, also checking the fight as well. And yeah, he is a first-year fighter. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, boo. But it should be a good one. Moving on, Marie and Caitlin. I'm excited for this one. Caitlin has been fighting. She's fought before. She's one of the newer fighters. Very excited to see her growth. Just following her on Facebook. She's had a really good fight against weight loss. She's been making great strides with that. So seeing her fight one of the pillars of the East Coast women fighters, Marie. That's going to be a great fight. Arming Sword and Shield is fun. I like seeing that with some of the night fights, especially some that they're not real powerhouses. as far as, physical strength. So it's a little easier to kind of get those quick shots in and really do some flashy stuff. But at the same time, be unrestricted and throw some kicks, throw some punches that you can't usually do in a dual setup. So that one I'm very excited. And Julie versus Sloane. This is going to be a slugfest. Two, big heavy-hitting girls. And I expect, Sloane, if Marie is one of the pillars, Sloane is the queen bee of the East Coast. So very excited to see Sloane really fight it off. And really, it's going to be a test for Julie to see where her cardio's at. Because I know Sloane's been putting in a lot of time in a lot of the melees and really has been grinding out. But this is going to be one of her proving matches. I don't think this is the first time these two have fought. I might be thinking of Julie and Marie fighting last time I was up at the Knights Hall. But either way, this is going to be a really good match. I'm very excited to see it. Just checking some of the comments as well, so bear with me as I look at this. I haven't seen some of these guys fight. Are you expecting any upsets? I'll let you know when I expect an upset on these. Any new guys to look out for? I'll be trying, and I'm gonna be honest. The Knights Hall really has a huge, they got some deep benches, so a lot of these names, I know them, but I haven't seen enough of them to really, further analyze them. And, of course, the Knights Hall's doing a great job of kind of getting their online presence back up. And here, let me go ahead and zoom this in for you a little. Can I do that? Let's go ahead so you guys can read with me. Oh, perfect. I could even barely read that. They'll say I never did nothing for you, awesome fuckers. But moving on, Brandon Ross, Brian Cruz. This is going to be a damn good fight. I am excited for this. My Gilmore father, Brandon, versus Brian Cruz, Falchion and Buckler. I like seeing Brandon switch it up with Falchion and Buckler, because he really is one of those guys that when he has an axe, he is fucking punishing. The ACS Jesus himself can really fucking lay a hurting on. Brian Cruz, I've seen him fight. He is another damn good fighter. I haven't seen as much of him, but just because Brandon's been one of those guys that has been in the league close. I think he's one of the founding people of the Knights Hall. So seeing him fight is pretty standard, but I'd like to see him switch it up with the Falchion Buckler, especially because I'd like to see the upset. This might be one of my upsets that I have down, because what Brandon needs to, if I can give him any sort of advice before this fight, it's going to be to work on that left jab with that with that Buckler, because it's something you don't see a lot in the U.S. fighting. There's a few that have a really stiff left. Cat has a huge stiff left that I've seen. I wish it's not. I think it's Constantine. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but I love you. He's a big guy on the big center for the Grizzlies. He's got a mean left. And there's a few on the U.S. But you see it a lot with European fighters. They could just really lay a shield into you, and it's deadly. So if Brandon can't master that left jab or even that left cross, this is a very winnable match for Brian. Of course, it's Class B, so it's going to be a minute and a half a round. But this is another one that this is going to be a good one. And the demo fight. This is just fuckery in the best sense. This is the fuckery that I love. This is going to be Ringo and Josh, two very experienced. Ringo, probably one of the most technically gifted fighters that I can list off the top of my head. He's a true technician and a true scholar of the sport. And this is not just because he's been helping with my channel. If you guys were following along from when we were doing the History Channel Night Fight breakdowns. But it's going to be fun to see him and Josh just really do some fuckery with hand axe and arming sword. So I'm going to be curious to see if this is a viable, tactic to bring out there. Or I should say, like, a viable weapon set. So we'll see how it goes. This is going to be one of those fun ones to kind of break it up. Moving along, I see these are a bunch of names that I'm really starting to get to know. So Gary versus Ken. This is going to be an absolute slugfest. They're going in longsword, which is going to be interesting because these two, like they're true Army vets. They just love to get in there and slug. They love to tie up, do a lot of grappling. It's going to be interesting to see them really try and finesse it with the longsword because even in the knife fight format, you can't really just muscle your way around with a longsword. And later in the live stream, we may play, I think, what might be one of the best examples of just slugging with a longsword. It is what's his oh, sorry, I'm blanking on you, buddy. Logan Greer of the Philly Rhinos and Brian Durante. When they had a longsword fight, that one was just it was great. You really got to see some slugging with a little bit of technical action. But the key to this, if I'm putting money on it, sorry, I'll actually give my predictions for this. So if anyone paying attention in the chat wants to hold me to it, and then make me take a shot or something for every one I get wrong, that'll make for a fun fucking live stream next week. But for Gary and Ken, I probably have to give it to Gary, just because if those two get into a slugging match, I think Gary can out-slug Ken. But it's still going to be close. It's, Ken still can very easily win that. The next one, Battle of the Chucks. This is going to be great. Chuck Valaz versus Chuck Goodwin. Both of these guys, big stocky guys. They're not real cardio powerhouses. So I'm going to be curious to see... this has the potential to be one of those KO fights and we don't see it as much, and which I'd really like to see a lot of, because we can't do ground and pound, so you can't really knock them out, but the boxing 10-point count system, I think, would really benefit these night fights, but this has the potential to be one of those ones that genuinely has a KO. Falchion and Buckler, if both of them are fairly new, within a year and a half. So it's going to be fun to see where this fight goes. But I might have to give it to Chuck Goodwin. Just he has that size, he has that reach advantage. If he can keep Valles, at an arm's length and really just kind of play the technique game and then throw him around when he has to. As a shorter guy, I'd love to see you pull it out, Valles. But I think Goodwin has it on this one. This is going to be a great one. These last two, I don't know which one's going to be fight of the night. But Mikey Johnson versus Greg Fisher in longsword Class A fight. This is going to be fucking great. So I'm going to edge this one to Mikey. Just because, I've seen Mikey really show amazing technique. He's been in this for so long. And really, he's 22, 23, I think. And, he went blow for blow with Ringo, who I put up. He was won multiple longsword tournaments, has been, the best in the U.S. a few times. I'd have to give the edge to Mikey. But Greg is one of those cardio powerhouses as well that, you can't count on him to just get tired. So to this one I might put up, this might be my upset match. Mikey's going in as the favorite, but Greg can pull this one out. Because I think Greg can win the fight if he wants to, of grappling him and throwing him to the ground. But Greg is going to be my dark horse for this one that could really throw an upset in there. But So, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm with you, Greg. I think you're going to win this one. Mikey, I love you, buddy. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Chris, I did not actually see the Longsword tournament. I'm trying to remember if I was actually on base for that one or... Either way, I couldn't get to see it. Yeah, so it's one of those things. I don't know. Chuck Goodwin, I don't know his cardio. I don't think he's going to, completely gas out. But, it's one of those things that the night fights, especially with, that very physical style, it's a whole different level than duels. Not to discredit duels, but, it's a whole different realm. And, also for Chris as well, it says I'm unsure the technique will carry as much in a night fight, and that's kind of the debate that's had with night fights right now. Right now, as it stands, the main judging criteria is on counted blows. So, by technical standpoints, counted blows is what they're looking for. Now, we both know that, when you're a judge and you see, someone just getting mauled out there and someone else just getting some shots in every once in a while, ring control, aggression, grappling domination, even, grappling throws, it's going to factor in. But, per their standards, counted blows are what they are looking for. But, we'll see. But... your main event of the night, Charles Harris versus Brian Durante. First off, I want to give huge credit for Charles for flying out just for this fight, really. He might have some personal shit, I don't really know. But I want to give a huge shout out to Charles just for flying in from Tulsa, or not Tulsa. I know he's in the Toll region. I think he might be in Austin, I think. He's down in this. Either way, he's way too fucking far and he had to fly in. So, huge props to you, man. Love to see people fly out for a fight. And if you want to, fly out for a fight, go in against Brian Durante. That's the one you want to, match up against. Because pound for pound, night fight rules, he is probably, I think he would be like a light heavyweight. If I had to give out belts for this, the light heavyweight belt would be going to Brian Durante, hands down. And Charles is one of those, probably one of the more underrated fighters. I don't want to say underrated, but one of those up-and-comers that he's been in about a year and a half or so. Maybe encroaching on 2 years. But he is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to the melees. He's done great works as singles as well. For this one, I have to go Brian, just because I think he should be the light heavyweight champion. I'd love to see Charles surprise me. But initially, just looking at the card, I'm going Brian Durante. Going back to the chat, look at you, Chris. I think the Chucks have an amazing willpower. It's going to be a knockout, drag out. You're absolutely right. They literally are, between them and the Gary Ken Vietnam vet slug out, I think that's going to be the one that is going to draw some blood, just going to be a whole lot of fucking anguish. And it's going to be great. But that's going to be your card for the night fights. So, go ahead. So one of the things we also, I don't know why I say we, act like I got a team here, I'm doing this myself. But one of the things that I was going through recently is, I had a bit of nostalgia, and 2018 New World Cup, it kind of hit me in one of those days, because I'll speak frankly, because I know a lot of people kind of had it as well that I've talked to, but it's not one of those things that really got talked about a whole lot for anyone that was in the ACL, is that people just kind of got dissuaded. All the drama that happened, that might be a separate video that I make entirely of my personal thoughts on it. But I can tell you right now that, when it initially happened, it fucking sucked. Flat out, it just fucking sucked. It's, my quick thoughts on it is that, I understand why Jay did what he did. I think it could have been handled a lot better. I think it was very sloppy. And unfortunately, I think Jay put a lot of people in a weird spot. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that, we'll just never know. And, that's the shitty part about it is, I'll have an opinion, you'll have an opinion, and we're entitled to them. But we're not going to have all the details. So, we just have to do our own thing. And I'm not going to lie, for a while, I tried to cover it as a news, a news site would. But, it got to a point when other allegations came out. There was, a lot of things, a lot of factors that did not involve steel fighting. When that came out, I'm not going to lie, it just really dissuaded me from it. And I kind of had the opinion that maybe I don't want to be a part of this anymore. So, I say that to say this. If you're slow to get back into it and, you're just a little mad at the situation, you're perfectly in the right. Don't think that, you're going to be some person who be like, you need to fall in line behind whoever you fall behind. No. I'm good. I've had a good relationship with both Jay and Andre. And even between the two, it just fucking sucked. It sucked. But we're going to keep shit positive. So let's talk about New World Cup. Because that is one of the events, talking about the splits, that's one of the events that I've always loved it. It was my first huge battle. First time really getting to meet everyone from the league. Getting able to see the West Coast, some other fighters from the East Coast. And just really feel that visceral, huge state. It's the only time we really get, a big arena. I shouldn't say arena, but a big list that a flanker can be a flanker. Because as a small guy, I gotta fucking run. If I got fucking Andrew Dion, Paul Friedel, Lance Hoffman, and a bunch of big motherfuckers, am I gonna be the honorable guy and go fight one-on-one with them and just, grapple up? Fuck no, I'm not. I got a little bit of fucking brains. Only a little. I do artillery, alright? It wasn't, it is what it is. I'm learning how to read. It's a work in progress. But am I going to fight them one-on-one? Fuck that! One-on-one, fair fights are for the fucking birds. That's why I'm a flanker. They can get fucked. But now that I'm off my soapbox, I had some nostalgia for New World Cup. So I really wanted to take a look at some of these fights that really, it's about a year old. And one of the shitty parts about the split, I don't know if New World Cup's going to happen. It's kind of shitty. I love seeing my West Coast friends, and that's one of 3 times I get to. So, it sucks. All my West Coast bros, love you. So, enough looking at my face, or, if you're just listening to this as you're rolling, I'm going to work on getting some audio for, the computer. Some technical glitches. We're working it out. I'm working it out. I don't know why I say we. I wish I like working as a team. I don't know. Maybe when I start getting the money rolling in, I get that $1,000 a fucking month once Andrew Yang wins it all, and then I'll be able to buy a staff or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway, if you are on watching it with me, let's go ahead and watch some fights, because I think that's fun. We're gonna find this through Jojo McCarville, probably the best content producer, not website, for everything ACL. She has the best quality. Every year it gets better and better. One of the East Coast fam that, I truly love. She's just fucking awesome. If you see her event, just hope you meet J. Andre McCarville, because chances are she probably won that chapter match earlier today, and, she's feeling pretty good. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and watch some fights. So, we don't want day 1. I don't know why I'm doing that to you. I'm sorry. Day 2, that's what we want. So let's see where it's at. So the first match we're gonna see is, and I'm gonna stop it at certain points as well, and kind of do some what's it called? Let me find the right point in it. But I'm gonna be doing some drawing on screen, get some like fancy note pen, try and treat this shit like an actual breakdown. But thank you, internet, for shitting out on me. Let's wait for this. Brandon says, New World Cup was his first as well. Yeah, it's a great event. I'd say it's usually a great crowd, but usually there is no crowd. So we make the best of it. Great after party. It's always New World Cup and Havasu, which then became FitCon, is probably some of the best times you'll have in the ACL. But, we'll... Alright, we're just going to go ahead and restart this real quick. Don't know why it's acting up on us, but... Gotta love technical difficulties. Alright. So we're just gonna go ahead and retry this real quick. I know, technical difficulties are never fun, but do what we gotta do, right? Anyone in the chat? Everyone in the chat, let me hear what you're doing for the 4th of July. I'm curious what you're doing. We'll try and build a little bit of a community and care for each other. Ooh, doesn't that sound like fun? But, yeah, so it looks like it's running a little smoother. So, without further ado, let's look at some film. So, we'll be starting here in a minute. Alright, so it's going to be the First Swords versus the Executioners. We stopping and rolling it back at certain points, but we see the 5-man just kind of stand off. But keep an eye on Ian Kansky. He's going to make a great cross. He's going to show one of my favorite tactics is the line charge. Because it's, you don't need to penetrate the backfield to get a great cross check. Because you see Brandon's going to cheat up a little. He's going to cheat up, and he's already getting like semi-engaged. And then just boom. Ian Kansky, just, anytime Ian hits you, it's going to be a bad fucking time. Let's see if I can get a picture of Brandon's scar he had after that. Because he got busted open getting that. But as we go through, everyone kind of finds their dancing partner. We start getting some trades. At this point, it's a 2-on-3, so Logan just starts chopping. He's the one that's free. He's got the two-handed axe. And it looks like, who is that? I forgot his name. But also, I'm going to stop it right here. So, one of the things that, I preach a lot with some of the newer guys that come in is they want to get these cool, elaborate gambesons, and, really, it's very bright. And what I tell people is, go for max effectiveness in the fight rather than kind of looking cool. And I don't want to call this guy a new fighter, Al has been in this and hurt me a bunch of times in the sport, but you can see right here that yellow that he's got there, that's his gambeson. It might actually be a tag as well, but I know for a fact that, let's go ahead and we're gonna rewind this a little. Let's go ahead, about 10 seconds. In this whole grapple, you're gonna see it. Keep your eyes right here. You're going to see, just pieces of yellow, especially in the armpit. That's going to be his gambeson. So, be sure to keep close mind to that, because you know, all it presents is a target for those squishy bits that are just going to put you down. So let's go ahead and see, and Andrew's going to do a good job of being that center and just opening him up to it as well. You know, I'd like to see him kind of rotate so he can get his buckler out of the way. You can see immediately he hit that armpit, and then he kind of tucks it. But he goes for that hip, just keeps going, softens up. You can see him buckling a little at the hip, but then between the two of them, they can push him down. It's a great round win for the First Swords. So really the factor in that was Ian getting that cross check. If Ian doesn't get that cross check, you know, it might play out a little bit more like this. We're going to see the Executioners are going to win this round, but, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll shut up and we'll watch it a little, instead of me stuttering like a fucking moron. But you can see, there it is again. He tries it again. Cat baits him in with it too. Like, he can see it coming the whole time. But at this point, we get some charges. Andrew loses his footing there and just kind of falls. And, you know, we start to get trades and a little bit of do-si-doing. People getting caught on armor bits. And really, you know, the First Swords kind of collapse. But let's go ahead and watch this round 3. This should be another good round. You know, of course, we're going to have our standoff. And so you see one of them gets in the backfield. The center gets in the backfield, but they're not really that worried about it for whatever reason. You know, Gerani does a good job stuffing that cross-check from Kraken. And it's like Khan almost gets taken out. But you see, you know, one of the things, and we'll rewind a little, is that a lot of the First Swords try and get those like short distance cross checks that really, you know, they don't work out that well, and it's really not a great idea. Paul's trying to get some chops in, but, you know, at this point, I think he's a little kind of gassed, and, you know, he goes down. Of course, Ringo stays up, and that's something I want to also highlight as well. So I want you to go ahead and watch it from right here. The whole time that this fight happens, just keep in mind, right in the center there, you got a wild Ringo just staying alive. So, you know, we're going to break it down in a minute, but just watch all the chaos that goes on around him. And then, you know, I'll do some drawing and you can make fun of my, you know, artistic skills. And we can, you know, I can break down exactly what he did there. So let's go ahead and play that again and see how long he stays up there with all those people kind of wearing down on him. You can see Paul trying to get him down, but he just doesn't do it. And for reference, Paul is like 250 pounds, 6'4" and like that's all out of armor. So if he's jumping on your back, it is not fun. But we'll go ahead and we'll get out a full screen here, and device to have it open. So we'll be using this a little later, but essentially what you got here is let's just pretend that the can I hide this? Get this to go away. Epic pen go away. All right. So anyway. So what we had is we just had a mass up here. This red flanker is going to be, what's it called? Ringo. So we got another guard. This is Paul coming in. He's barreling right on top of him. I'm pretty sure we had Jeff Barnes. That was his name. Another big guy just bearing down on him right here. I think we might have seen like Jay or someone about to come in and chop. But we can go ahead and hide that, the blue flanker, red center. Go ahead and hide that. So this was kind of the situation they were in. And for a while, you know, he was over here doing his thing. So it was pretty much Paul wailing on him right here, and they just kind of had to make do with what they got. What you saw is, and actually let me go ahead and get that back now that I actually want to draw. So, you know, the blue here is going to be the list. And, you know, you see, you got your ground right here. You got the list right here. What you saw, and I'll do him in purple because he's just fabulous like that. But you saw Ringo, he had his back up against the list. So his back is using that as support. You had, it came down a little farther actually for this. So then what you had him doing, he was doing a duck squat. So now this, in this position, I have his little feet right there, little tiny feet. I have his head right here. But this position right here, it's near impossible to get someone off this position. Now, what you might see a lot of people do, I'll do it off to the side here. So you got your legs right here, you got your back. What they do is they hunch over like this. They got their head right here. So they hunch over at like the lower back and they kind of lean forward. You know, there is a time and a place to do this. I'm going to get to this. But this is not what you want to do when you're up against the rail. Don't fucking do it. I'm going to scribble that shit out. But, you know what? How about I just erase it? That makes even more sense. Good job. But this right here, this is what you want. Because you have almost like anchor points and points of stability. Because you have your back pushing against the rail right here to give you one point of support. You have the ground as well. That's giving you another additional kind of, you know, support layer. And between those two points of support, you are not going to be moving. You know, if you want to try and test this, have when you do wall squats in the gym, and have someone try and knock you over, or just push you down. It's not going to happen. The only thing they could do is maybe try and kick the leg out. But even then, at that point, you have your solid base. But you all got the point. So, what that eventually led to is then the guard can come over and just chop down fucking Paul until, boom, off the map. But let's go ahead and keep watching some film, because that's what I love to do. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead, keep watching. Yep, executioners win. Always hate to see that. Those dirty motherfuckers. Alright, now we got the Grizzlies on the West Coast versus the Toll Thunder. One of the, that year they won my most improved. Fairly young team, but they were putting in fucking work. The main thing I love with these guys, when you see the Toll fight, just look at their movement. They are moving everywhere. They adopted one of the strategies from the Knights Hall of engaging, but without actually, staying tied up. And what I want to do again, we talked about Charles earlier, but I want to play this back. What I mentioned before, where you put your back forward and kind of put your head down. The only time to do that is when you're escaping a grapple, and it's one of those techniques that you really need to find the sweet spot of when to do it. Otherwise, they just clamp on, and now they have you in a bad spot, and they just ride it out. So we're going to take it back a little so I can show you the great job that Charles does of just escaping some of these grapples. And it puts down people because they want to bring you down, so they think they'll bring you down with you. Actually, that's Charles right there. Maybe he's not in this. Oh, who the fuck is that? It's one of the Toll guys. Let's see here. He's coming across. So we're gonna see it right here on the left. I think that's gonna be Brad is gonna try and just bring him down with him, but he's gonna have a good escape method to just Let me get that pen back. I know I keep closing it down, but it makes it annoying to like tab out of stuff and kind of operate. But you're gonna see it right here, with his arms up like this. That just leaves a basket for then the toe to just slip out back here. And you know, it's a difficult maneuver, and if you fuck it up, you're in a really bad spot. But once you get good at this, you know, Ringo's one of those guys that can do this for days as well. But it is a fucking, it's a lifesaver. So let's go ahead and keep watching. Slips out of that one, stays on his feet, very important. And then I think that's Jake from the Grizzlies, tries it again. And uses the bodies to put him down 2 times. But this is what I was talking about, who's got a mean left. We're going to see it a little later. But I think it's Constantine. I'm trying to remember from Facebook. I'm sorry, but great guy. What very nice. But he's probably one of the best centers on the West Coast that I've seen. So it's fun to watch him fight. Just a big guy fucking bullying people. He tries that push off again, but it's important that you want to do it whenever they commit. So if they commit to a grapple, but they don't have great a great position, that's when you really want to do it. He might get one right, and don't actually remember how this goes. So let's watch. They're gonna hug it out. Great friends. I told you he's a great guy. Just wants a hug. And then do a little shoving. See if Brad can get free to swing a little. He's got that 2-hander. I know he wants to swing. Does he get set down on this? No. Oh, he does. Okay. So he gets set down. Looks like the refs don't know if he is sat down or not. Yep, but he slips and was able to get pushed over the body. So unfortunate to see, but good use of bodies. That's why they're there. So let's check out this next fight. You can see not as good a movement. We get one cross check in there, but kind of misses the target. But it was good. Good rundown. That was actually Lucas. So we're gonna go ahead and rewind this back. Get to a point where you can see the full thing. So what I want you to take mind of, this right here, that's going to be one of those moves that, if they got you charging, but you have the overhead, you just put their head down and just kind of, do like a matador bull move and just kind of let that guide them to the ground. So let's go ahead and keep this rolling. You see right there, just puts them down. Very effective move. So Lucas is going to go try and do some more help. We got people trading over here. But Big Papa West Coast stays up. So he can actually go help out on the other side. And, he's one of those guys that's like impossible to take down. So he always finds himself in these 2-on-1 positions. He does have that Mongol armor. He did buy Dustin's old armor, and I don't like that armor. I really don't. I see a lot of people, I don't want to say get hurt in it, but I see a lot of people kind of go down easier with some axe shots. This is going to be like a little slugfest. We can watch this out. But looks like Brandon's going to be watching Stranger Things Season 3. Holy fuck, I didn't realize that was out now. Let me see. Oh, Lance threw you in for the new guy 3s. Yeah, it's so much fun. But yeah, Stranger Things Season 3. Very excited for that. It's going to be good. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, we just all grapple, trade, standard stuff. If anyone has any questions or they want me to go over some stuff or, just they got a fight that they really enjoy and you want to watch it with me, I'll throw it on the rotation. We'll have some fun with it. So let me know in the comments what you want to see. We're going to see some movement again. He got caught out. It was a bad charge. But we're going to see some action. It was a good throw from Toll. It goes in. Good falchion shots. There's some good snap on it. I think that's Brennan from the Toll region. It's great snap on that falchion. There's not a lot of people that I could really see move that falchion, but that was some good shots. So we're going to keep this going. Lance is just going to be Lance. He's going to fucking clobber him with that fucking pole arm. But Jake, another hard fucking hitter. And this is probably the only time I've seen someone like dent and bend a falchion like mid-fight. Like this is fucking nuts. He is crazy strong. And I hope it's right. I wish I knew the West Coast guys' names better, but like I said, I only get to see them like 3 times a year, which is really a fucking shame. It sucks, but hopefully there'll be more events and more travel money to, come see you guys. And hopefully, if you want to throw some bills my way so we can get some travel money and I can cover for you, that'd be kind of fucking sweet. But eventually he goes down. They grind him down. Usually if you have them in like a headlock or like an upper clench, you'll be able to put them down eventually. You just have to wear them out and it'll take forever. But this is great movement on Toll. Like they just, and it's unlucky that they took that other one with them as well. But, that shit happens. But, the Atlantic were able to take an easy win. They tripped themselves, and when Ian dances you around like that, there's no fucking stopping it. We get another easy takedown. Looks like Logan goes down. Back to 4-on-4. We'll see how it goes. Ian able to take another one down. And this is one of those things that really got me annoyed watching it again. Because the refs kind of, really fucked this up for the fight. He doesn't have a weapon. That doesn't mean the fight stops. You keep on him, and, you hate to see that happen. But I get it. Being a ref is tough. Sorry about that. But, it's a thankless job, and, unfortunately he got kind of shafted on it. But, it's whatever. Alright, yep, and of course, he traded with him, took him down, and then I guess he just kind of lost his foot, and Carl ends up taking the victory on that. Good job you, Carl. He survived a 2-on-1. Even though he kind of put himself down, it's not easy to survive a 2-on-1. So this is for the gold and silver, East versus West. There, that cross. We're gonna play that back, cause whoo, lordy, was that good? So we're gonna see it a little. Let me go ahead. My boy, the West Coast Grizzly Bear right there. Go ahead and keep your eye on him because he's gonna give a left that is just fucking gnarly. And boom, one more time and boom. Yeah, and then they're gonna dance around a little. Ringo's just gonna break into the backfield, slip him. And keep your eye on Ringo for this because he's gonna do a great job of what I call engaging, but not clenching. He's keeping people occupied, but he's able to, get out when he needs to get out. And as a flanker, that's really what you need to do. You want to engage, but stay, agile. So, Cat's just hanging on the background, waiting for his opportunity to strike. He sees it and just starts to go to town with that pole arm, which he's becoming fucking deadly with. Yep, and they're just, the executioners just have him on the rail now, so now they're just gonna hold and get targets of opportunity. He sees that backside and just fucking goes to town on him. So we're gonna play that back again. What I want you to do, you're gonna see shots, and keep in mind, I'm gonna highlight it now. There's kind of right there. There is the line for your waist. There's where your kidney is, there's your shoulder gap, and there's your collarbone. And just, keep that in mind as we watch this through. Watch the shot placement from Cat because it's almost surgical where he, lands his shots. We'll keep watching this. At first, shoulder, 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 collarbone, collarbone. We'll rewind that a little because there's a few other shots. Yeah. All right, so now we get to see him walk up and take his shots. First one, yeah. Gets that side of the ribs, right where the lungs are. I thought he got a kidney shot in there, but I guess not. But, that's one of those things when you get to that level, you start to really learn your shot placement. And, it just becomes awesome. But that's the end of that round. We're going to go ahead and watch this last round. A little bit of a lazy start from them. Grizzlies kind of getting their act together. Ringo goes around for a flank. He gets caught up, but he's able to kind of turn him around. And, unfortunately, he just got that flank on him. Ringo is dangerous in the open field. Then from here, they have the numbers advantage. They just pile on. I got 2 on me, but I'm in that position where I'm able to just keep getting the pressure on it, but I just don't go down. And then Durante just gets an axe hit on him, and that's the end of the round. So Executions end up winning it, and that was New World Cup for 2018. So it was a nice trip down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed it a little as well. I wonder why my throat's starting to hurt. I need my coffee. That's good. Okay. So we're about at the hour mark. Last call for any questions in the chat. It was a fun little hangout. As always, stay tuned for the Facebook. We're going to be doing a lot of updates through Facebook. I find that the easiest. I can get to my phone. We're working out the Twitch issues as well. Using a little bit of a weird setup. I'm not going straight from my computer like a lot of streamers do. So finding some workarounds for it. But overall, I enjoyed this live stream setup. Got a few people in chat. I want to thank everyone in chat for, hanging out and, keeping a little bit of an engagement. And, for the first one, not too bad at all. So, just want to thank you for tuning in. Again, Knights Hall is going to be having a fight this Saturday. They will be live streaming it. Check out the Knights Hall on Twitch. 1 week from now, not 2 weeks, sorry, we will actually be hosting a, Be hosting a night fight live stream as well next Saturday night on July 13th. It'll be in South Jersey. There's going to be a lot of great fights where we're going to do a similar thing where the night before we're going to do a recap. Or not the night before, sorry, but we'll try and keep it to Thursdays, maybe Wednesdays, see what kind of works best, maybe do a poll. But we're going to work with the setup a little and see if we can get some shit to really work well. But for everyone tuned in, I really want to thank you. But for now, have a good day. Stay classy.